I'm excited to welcome a guest. Dale Williams was able to hook me up with this gentleman. Now, this is a guy that we're going to bring on here. That his name's Dane Phillips, and there was a a rally that actually garnered nationwide attention on the 4th of July here recently in Bluffdale, protesting the NSA. So I believe we have Dane on the line. Let me go to the phones. Dane, is that you?
We do. Hello, Jay. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on the show.
You bet.
So, Dane, tell us a little bit, first of all, about the July 4th event that you were part of and helped put together at the Bluffdale facility for the NSA.
Sure. The genesis of that, Jake, came approximately a week before July the 4th. Thursday, I was having a conversation with a close friend of mine and colleague, Dr. A. Truott, and we're both activists that know this story at fairly deep levels, and not just the NSA, but what's really truly going on behind the scenes here and the origins of these problems. We were conversing on the telephone. The NSA came up, and we're always looking for opportunities to try to break this story, what I call the battle hymn story. And it has been around a lot of different information concerning the Federal Reserve and so on and so forth, and a lot of different parts of this overall story for a long time. But breaking this story and getting it past the editorial desk that serves the corporate elite that controls our media globally has been a very daunting task, and no one has really been able to really break it. So that's been my goal since I woke up, and trying to find a way to do just that and get that job done. So we had July the 4th coming up. That was a great date. That only gave us a week. During this phone call, I was on my way out of town, actually, up into Montana, and I really couldn't even pick up my part of the job until the drive back on Monday. And then, of course, I have to come back out into Utah because I was coming back into southern Nevada. I had to come back into Utah on Wednesday. So I had about a day and a half to get it done, and True only had a few days. And so we just basically decided, let's put a protest together. Let's see what we can do, but let's not do it once. Let's build it as a business, and the business is waking this country up. And so we're going to do the best that we can on the first event, and then we will have subsequent dates, and we're going to continue to come, and we're not going to stop. So,
now, you were able to get some sort of, you did get some sort of media attention, though, because I did see you guys picked up on some larger feeds, I think maybe Associated Press or Reuters.
Well, yeah, we did. The media did come, because, this is, if you remember the Terminator movie, you'll remember Skynet. This is Skynet realized. We have the enemy, and they are clearly the enemy. We have them in a fixed position. They can't move. This is their headquarters. So it's a great place to take them on. So the media came because it's Bluffdale. For our movement and what we're attempting to do, this is our Woodstock. And we know that. We know the significance of this. So their being in a fixed position and our being mobile and our having hearts that are on fire to tell our people what's going on, to give a warning, if you will, a watchman on the wall, we're all about getting that job done. So we decided to come. We invited the media, and the media came, and that's great. We did some creative things behind the scenes. I'm a business guy, a pretty entrepreneurial, outside of the box thinking guy, and been involved in sales and promotion and so on and so forth, and branding companies. I wanted to rebrand the NSA. That agency is the National Security Agency. Security has nothing to do with what they're doing. In reality, what they're doing is surveilling. So what they've done is they've misused the word security, just like they did in misusing the word federal to give the appearance that the Federal Reserve System is part of the government, and it is not. It's a subcontractor. They've outsourced.
Or the Patriot Act is not patriotic, right? The whole Orwellian language that you speak.
Yeah, they use the mashed potato words, to give us comfort and to put us to sleep, and give us a false read on what things truly are. So I realized that. So my job here, from a branding standpoint, was I wanted to create clearly a public relations, if you will, catastrophe for them by waking up the public to see them for what they really are, not what they say they are, but what they really are, and then call them what they are and let the truth speak for what it is. So that's what I was all about doing. So I changed the word out security, put it into surveillance, and then I started working with the letter A. A being a triangle, if you will, the pyramid, the all-seeing eye. So I dropped the I off the dollar bill up into the apex of the A, the letter A, and I crossed, because every A is crossed with a bar, and I crossed that with the word treason. So then I rebranded NSA as NSA with the all-seeing eye. I reconfigured the letter A, and then I based it over the word treason, and then I made that into a banner. I made another banner up, and I took the word insanity, which is basically saying that really quite clearly what the government is doing here and the signs that they're showing, because this thought process that has our federal government looking at its people and feeling the need to spy on us when they're telling us that they want us to trust them, but yet they feel that they have to spy on us. So it's really incongruous. It's really starting to display real signs of instability. Quite frankly, it's insane. And so I took the word insanity, and it, if you'll know, within the word insanity is NSA. So I popped that out and then used that word. Well, what happened were these banners were so beguiling and powerful that the press picked up on this. And especially the NSA, with the all-seeing eye bridged with treason over the word treason, and that thing shot viral all over the world. Editors literally just found it compelling to use that. So it really got some coverage going, and that was exactly what I intended all along. And,
now hold on, Dane. We're bumping up against our commercial break. Dane, listen, we got to take a commercial break. They come and go as they please. I can't control them. We're speaking with Dane Phillips. He's one of the co-organizers of that July 4th NSA protest, and he's got some more stuff coming up. So guys, stay tuned. We'll talk about that and a few other issues when we come back. If you want to call in, 801-254-5855 is the calling number. All right, guys, we are back. Jake Shannon Radio Show. Hope you guys are doing good today. Calling number 801-254-5855. Talking, as I have been for some time, about this abrogation of the Fourth Amendment that's going on under the acronym NSA. And happy to have with me Dane Phillips, who is one of the co-organizers of that July 14th rally that they had in Bluffdale. They got a decent amount of coverage, so they did a good job in terms of waking people up and adding to what people like Edward Snowden, Bradley Manning, Daniel Ellsberg, all these whistleblowers, but now citizens who give a crap enough to show up and make a stink, peacefully, patriotic with concern for their country. But you have to understand, like Mark Twain said, love for the country always, for the government when it deserves it. Certainly the government has overstepped its bounds. Dane, are you still there with us?
Right here.
Hey, Dane. So you guys had that, and you did a pretty good job. And you mentioned that you are going to be planning more protests in the future. In fact, what I'm reading here in the email that Dale sent me, that you got a September 11th protest set up at the NSA again.
That's correct. September the 11th. and that's NSA number 2. And what we call NSA number 3 is scheduled for November the 22nd, the 50th anniversary of the assassination of our president, John Kennedy.
Okay, so September 11th, and you said 5 p.m., is that right?
It's 5 o'clock for NSA 2, September the 11th.
And where will that be
Wednesday,
specifically?
Afternoon, 5 o'clock, we're going to kick it off. Up an hour, we'll be speaking with each other, and then we're going to march, as we had done on NSA 1. We're going to march towards the front gate of the surveillance center.
Okay, and where are you going to meet, that kind of thing? How are you organizing people who might want to, that are listening now, that might want to join you guys in the protest?
The answer to that question is, when we first met at NSA 1, we were right across the street from the main gate on Redwood Road, and we had police literally were all up and down the boulevard as we were getting ready to set up. And they came very quickly. We were out in the middle of a field, and they came across the street, and they told us that it was their opinion that that was Camp Lund's property. I really don't know whether that's true, but they used that as an excuse, trying to get us to disperse from our peaceful assembly. So what we did, we already had a contingency for that. We're not going to go away, and so we just quite simply moved down the street to the Veterans Center, just down Redwood from the main gate, and we went in there, and we felt that was actually a blessing in disguise. We would have rather been there than where we had originally first planned, and that became, apparent. It was a great place. We honor our vets, and it's just that one of the goals that we're trying to achieve here is to wake up our active duty military and police, and have them join us in our peaceful assemblies, and having the event at the Veterans Center down the street, was a wonderful opportunity for us and a great place. And that's where we prefer to have it for NSA number 2. We're working on the details of that right now, and if that doesn't come together, and if they put the pressure to be on the Veterans Center administratively to close that door to us, which I think would be very unfortunate if they do that, because that's going to create another public relations problem for them that will be exploited by us. But if that's the decision that they will take, which, like I said, I hope that they don't do that, but if they do, then we will assemble in that area on Redwood, and we will put this peaceful assembly together. We're going to meet wherever we have to meet. If we have to do it out in the middle of the bean field, we're going to do it. That is not going to be an obstacle that will be insurmountable to us. Okay,
so if people, is there like a website or anything people can go to stay apprised of things?
Battlehymn.com. That's BATTLE, like a battle or a fight. Hymn, HY as in yellow, M as in Mike, N as in nickel. Battle Hymn. That's like the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Battlehymn.com. You go to that site. In the post area on the homepage is where we have the material regarding the upcoming September the 11th rally posted, and that will remain in the post area up until we have the rally. And then, of course, we're going to move right into putting the NSA 3 rally on November 22nd together. So that's where they can go.
And so then the information not only about this protest, but the one in November will be there.
Yeah, both. And at the same time, this is an activist for all those listeners that are out there. And if you're not awake to this stuff, this is kind of a first-time opportunity for you. Battlehymn.com is an activist site. A lot of different websites within the Patriot community, they have various parts of the story that they talk about. Constitution and 9/11 groups have their websites. Battlehymn.com is fairly all-encompassing. We talk a lot about the Federal Reserve System. We talk a lot about 9/11. Basically the history of what's been going on here off this octopus, if you will, and all the tentacles that spring off of it. So it's a great place to wake up. You will find opportunities there in films and in documents. You can't go to battlehymn.com simply put, and not wake up. You're going to wake up. And very professionally put together and credible information is there on that website.
Well, good luck to you, Dane. I appreciate you spending the time with us today, and good luck in getting more press recognition. It seems to be that there's the corporate-owned media, but I think a lot of journalists now with the targeting of people like Michael Hastings and whatnot, I think we're actually getting some journalists back on our side. So we'll see how that goes.
You bet. Pardon me?
I was just saying, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm optimistic, actually.
Well, I am too, because I think even the people that are borderline on all of this are beginning to wonder. Wait a minute, you got to ask yourself, even if you are one of their soldiers, okay? Do you think for one moment that the implications of what they're trying to bring about is not going to affect people that you care about? When you get into this New World Order and you begin to pull it apart to understand what it is, it's basically just another way of saying one world government, the ending of the sovereignty of all nations. When you begin to pull that down to where you can digest that and understand that, you understand that within that pyramid of goals of one world military, one world monetary, one world religion, so on and so forth, they want to bring about a depopulation of the planet by 95%. So when I shared that with people, and I said, it's real simple. You just do a Google search, you put in keywords and key phrases, put in Ted Turner, depopulation or eugenics, put in Warren Buffett, put in Bill Gates, put in Prince Philip of Britain, and you will find, and put when you put that in, the names, and you put in the other part of the key phrase, depopulation or eugenics, put in quotes, and that's going to bring you to quotes, things that Prince Philip said about depopulating this planet, what Ted Turner is in favor of, what Bill Gates is in favor of, and you will find out that these globalists are dead set on killing 95% of us. And when I share that with people, and I know the person, to some degree, and I know that they have a girlfriend or they have a son or a daughter or a wife, and I go, you realize that your wife most likely is going to die. And then they get it. They go, whoa, wait a minute, this affects me. Yeah, you're holding a camera out there in the crowd at this rally. Okay, you're holding a sound mic, and all of a sudden you begin to get it. You begin to get that, hey, this is going to come to your door. It's going to come to your threshold of your house. It's going to come to people that you care about, and all of a sudden they begin to wake up and they think, something. I think I basically have, I think I have a horse in this race too. I think that this is going to affect me. This is going to affect my son, my daughter, my best friend from high school. And all of a sudden you take it personal and you realize, something, I think I'm getting set up on this one too. And then at that point, you begin to turn that individual, okay, from where they've been, whether it's complacency or being complicit, and you begin to wake them up. They begin to think, something, I don't think I like this. I think it's time for me to stand up. And that is right there as far as what we're attempting to do is we want America to stand up. Stand up, America. It's time to get up off of our knees. It's time to wake up. It's time to get involved. This is not the PTA where you have a couple of women for 15 years, do all of the work, okay, for the kids, and you never have to show it. Oh, just let those two women do it. That's not what this all, is. This is not what this is about. This is about us. This is about all of us getting involved. So when we go back down to the NSA, we want to build an event where they have to literally close Redwood Road down because you've got thousands upon thousands of people showing up because, like I said, they're in a fixed position. They can't move. We've got them. We want to build our numbers so we can use this as a platform. Let's talk about the outsourcing of the currency. Okay, we've got a soundbite here from Ron Paul, audit the Fed. Audit the Fed by itself doesn't mean anything until you put the specificity of the audit into it. What are you looking for in this audit? You should be looking for who owns it. That brings up the question, well, I thought it was federal. Well, no, it's not federal. It's a private banking corporation. Well, wait a minute. They call it the Federal Reserve, right? That's my point. They've misused the word federal. They misused the word security. It's really about surveilling. It's really about outsourcing our currency. Then you come up with the second question in Audit the Fed, which comes right into who are they lending money to? I'd say Dane Phillips said that they were lending money to Japan in 1942 after Pearl Harbor. Uh-oh, wait a minute. We're cross-funding. That's what the audit ought to be. We break that part of the story, Jay, on the Federal Reserve, about the money system. How in the world can you have a Republican national debate and talk about the recovering of the economy and not talk about the outsourcing of our currency, about the bank? It's ridiculous. You can't have any substantive discussion that has any meaning whatsoever about our financial matters in this country until you divulge to the citizens that we have a bank that is controlling our currency, that is guised behind the misuse of the word federal. We have a platform here. We can talk about a lot of different things that are going on. We can thoroughly discuss smart meters. Right now, what they're intending on doing is putting a smart meter in your house so they can turn your house into a microwave. And we're going to tell the American people this. Like I said, we're not going to go away on this. These marches are going to build. We're going to keep coming back. It's a business. We're going to build the business at hand here is the telling of the truth to our people here in this country and the global citizens behind that.
Sounds awesome, dude. Hey, Dane, I appreciate your time. Guys, check him out, Battle Him. Is it battlehim.com?
Battlehim.com.
Okay, thanks again, Dane.